we are sitting here with Justine Henley. So, we have to ask, born and raised, New York or foreign traveler?
I'm born and raised in Brooklyn, New York.
Okay. And when exactly were you born?
1990. July 21st, 1990.
What do you feel about Brooklyn? Did you really notice a lot of change going on as you were growing up, or is it still the same place you remember?
Well, in my neighborhood in Bay Ridge, I was born in Bay Ridge and I'm still living there, and that neighborhood has not changed a bit, and it never will. It's always been a family-oriented neighborhood. People who live there don't move. The children go to elementary school in the neighborhood, go to high school, and then for college they'll basically just stay in Brooklyn somewhere. Usually a private college in Brooklyn, but they won't leave Bay Ridge.
Now, do you think that the rest of Brooklyn is similar to that, or do you think kind of with the wave of gentrification that's been blowing over, Park Slope and Williamsburg and places like that, that it's going to go that route, or do you think that Bay Ridge is going to stay Bay Ridge?
No, it's never gonna change. It's in a league of its own. It's so different from the rest of Brooklyn, and it's always been that way. I can never see it changing. I've never seen elements of it changing at all. It's a safe area, it's nice, and it doesn't need gentrification. It's just different from other parts of Brooklyn. Like Williamsburg, for instance, used to be a terrible area. And the outskirts of it are still bad. Like Bushwick isn't the best area. It's getting better, of course. But yeah, an area like Williamsburg, it just doesn't compare.
How have all these influences played out for you so far?
Well, actually, if I were to go back, like right before I started high school, when I ended middle school and began high school, I automatically wanted to branch out and go to a school that wasn't in my neighborhood. So I went to school in Park Slope. And there I met a lot of different people from all over. It was definitely more cultured, and if I had stayed in Bay Ridge, I wouldn't have experienced what I experienced then, and my life would be very different. At that time, I started branching out and going to Manhattan a lot. After school, I would just go to Manhattan. And yeah, I mean, I always wanted to go to school in Manhattan, especially since back then I wanted to study acting, so all of the good schools are in Manhattan. So I was constantly traveling, and I started traveling on the weekends to acting school, and then I just chose Hunter because it's in the center of everything.
So you've mentioned that Hunter was the best choice. Best choice for what exactly?
I guess I just liked the atmosphere of Hunter. I feel like I could get the same education as NYU for less. And
it does seem like half the teachers here are part-timers at NYU as well. So.
Yeah, right? Like some of them have connections to Ivy League schools. As for choosing that, I guess I thought it was sufficient. The school was sufficient for that. It has a good theater program, so all in all, I thought it was ultimately the best decision.
What are you looking to pursue after you graduate from Hunter?
I'm going into fashion marketing or advertising. So hopefully after this, I will get a job at a firm. Either I'm not quite sure if it's going to be at an advertising firm or a marketing firm, or even at a fashion PR firm, something like that, and get a job there, or a fashion house, but I'm looking into that, all of those options, maybe for a small company.
And you mentioned theater, but you're looking at kind of a public relations.
Theater
career.
was 4 years ago.
You just one day woke up and were like, you know
I
what?
realized.
I'm not realizing the thespian dream.
Yeah, I did it throughout high school, and then when I came here, I did it for a year, and I liked it, but there's no it's too risky of a career choice. Um,
Just not feeling that level of commitment.
yeah, it's hard to compete with everybody else in New York who comes here for that same goal.
No.
Um, so I decided to drop that as soon as possible. And ultimately, I got into media.
Well, that's nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you see yourself going straight to the workforce out of college, or do you see yourself kind of doing the intern thing? You know, what are your immediate post-graduation plans?
Immediately after I graduate, I'm just looking to travel, just
Okay.
all over.
Do you have a lot of experience traveling abroad, or
Yeah, I've traveled to different countries, but never on my own. So, like this summer, I'm going with a friend to the Grand Canyon, and we're taking a road trip. So we're going to see a lot of the U.S. and that's something like that I'd like to do. And then out of country, I want to actually live in Argentina for a good amount of time, maybe up to a year. I'm hoping to do that first. And then maybe live in other states. Like my dad's from California. So maybe live where he's from. I've been there and I really like that area.
where is he from in
He's
California?
he's from Orange County. Where he's from, it's just really beautiful. And when I haven't been there in years, but when I used to go all the time. It was just the picture perfect area and somewhere where I would like to live, but not settle down.
Yeah.
Just live there for a while and then move back to New York because I do want to live in New York.
Well, thank you for sitting down with
Thank
us. And we wish you great luck on your journeys forward.
you.